Welcome to the Knowledge Banks. We are here to serve you. We are a select number of citizens who were given the esteemed honor to house histories, works of literature.
Pass.
You have selected to skip the introduction. Confirm, please.
Yes.
What realm would you like to visit?
Literature.
What genre?
Fiction.
Specific author or search?
Specific.
Name?
Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm.
Loading corresponding bank.
Welcome, Damon. My name is Lily. Are you well today?
I am. Thank you, Lily.
Do you have any specific work of theirs you would like to hear, or would you like to hear a recent selection?
A recent selection would be fine.
It was one of the variations of The Little Elves.
Continue.
Very well. Once upon a time there was a poor servant girl, who was both industrious and cleanly, for every day she dusted the house and shook out the sweepings on a great heap before the door. One morning, just as she was going to throw them away, she saw a letter lying among them, and, as she could not read, she put her broom in the corner and took it to her master. It contained an invitation from the elves, asking the girl to stand godmother to one of their children. The little girl did not know what to do, but at last, after much consideration, she consented, for the little men will not easily take a refusal. So there came 3 elves, who conducted her to a hollow mountain where they lived. Everything was very small, of course, but all more neat and elegant than I can tell you. The mother lay in a bed of ebony studded with pearls, and the coverings were all wrought with gold. The cradle was made of ivory, and the bath was of gold. The girl stood godmother, and afterwards wished to return home, but the little elves pressed her earnestly to stay 3 days longer. So she remained, passing the time in pleasure and play, for the elves behaved very kindly to her. At the end of the time she prepared to return home, but first they filled her pockets full of gold, and then led her out of the hill. As soon as she reached the house she shook out the broom, which still stood in the corner, and went on with her sweeping, and presently out of the house came some strange people, who asked her who she was, and what she was doing there. Then she found out that it was not 3 days, as she had supposed, but 7 years that she had passed with the little elves in the hill, and that her former master had died in her absence. Would you like me to continue with the next variation, Damon?
Actually, if you could read that version once more, Lily.
Easily done. Once upon a time there was a poor servant girl, who was both industrious and cleanly, for every day she dusted the house and shook out the sweepings on a great heap before the door. One morning, just as she was going to throw them away, the little elves once stole a child out of its cradle, and put in its place a changeling with a clumsy head and red eyes. The mother, in great trouble, went to a neighbor to ask her advice, and, when the young prince lay asleep, she called up the captain, and taking the sleeper by the head while he carried the feet, they threw the sleeper, ran outside, and found some big stones, and they put them in the wolf's belly. When he woke up, he tried to run away, but the stones were so heavy as they passed by the grave, there sat 2 little doves who sang, backwards peep, there's blood upon the shoe's too small, and she behind is not the bride for you. She welcomed Hans the hedgehog and was married to him, and afterwards they dined at the royal table, sitting side by side, and eating and drinking together. When evening came on and bedtime, the princess said that she was afraid of her husband's spikes, but he said she need not fear, he would do her no harm. Then the bird came and took the gold chain in the right claw, and sat before the goldsmith and sang, My mother killed me, my father grieved for me, my sister, little Marlene, wept under the juniper tree. Kywitt, what a beautiful bird am I. The soldiers had wheeled round to the left, and before very long they brought what he desired, having taken it from the collier without so much as asking his leave, while the huntsman had to catch all the beasts in the whole kingdom, and from each take a piece of his skin wherewith a mantle of 1,000 pieces was made. Scarcely had she done so when the prophecy was fulfilled, for she pricked her finger, and at that very same moment she fell back upon a bed which stood near in a deep sleep. The sleep extended over the whole palace. About a year afterwards the king married another wife, who was very beautiful, but so proud and haughty that she could not bear anyone to be better looking than herself. But what happened to poor Fox? Long after, the prince went once again into the wood. The fox met him and said, "You now have everything that you desire, but to my misfortune there is no end, although it lies in your power to release me. Once upon a time there lived a queen who had been denied children hitherto, but every morning she went into the garden and prayed to God that he would grant her a son or daughter." Then the lion cried, "Hold, first I must taste," and, drawing half a flagon full, he drank it off, and said, "This is better, but still not the right wine. When they have done praying, this tale shall be continued, but meanwhile, as I suppose, they are praying still."
Thank you, Lily. How do you feel?
I'm tired.
Then sleep.
Sleep.
You have been disconnected.